Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Twitch is taking a moment to boot on up. Maybe just refresh the page. Sometimes when I restart my computer, it has like a bit of a slower startup, and it felt like one of those times, so it could be just my computer just not being all too happy. Get to work! I just got back from work. Actually, no, I actually had a little bit of downtime after work today because I entered work a little bit early. Okay, looks like YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, and Kick. Everything appears to be online. Time to activate the live chat windows. Oops, not sign in. There we go. And give me another moment to check my other computer. And there we go. Looks like everything is good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. I do have a handful of replays. So we shall do these three, then probably go into a live game or two, depending how long these replays are. I think they were a little on the shorter side, some of them. So let's, I always forget the fact that replays, they have a weird thing where it applies the speed of the player who uploaded the replay. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another, what am I thinking? I'm trying to say Advanced Wars. Age Mythology replay. Spawn bottom right side as the blue Hades got Sultan. Spawn top left side as the red Briar got Kibber. This is a hybrid map, so we may see some naval play. Looks like blue has a bit of a bad luck deployment there of that dock. You see here I've got 3 fishies right there, so it's probably better to put a bit closer to it. But oh well, something you have to make do with what little vision you have. The graphics seems a little bit off. This, I think there was a new patch lately. I had to reinstall like the Microsoft distributables, so maybe I need to take a quick look at the graphics settings after this game, because I'm seeing what appears to be like rendering issues. If you can give me a moment. Graphics. No, everything seems fine. I keep water off. Not sure what's going on. It feels like just stuff is sort of taking the thing where you see stuff slowly forms. Maybe I'm just over noticing it. Yeah, that scout, it looks weird off. Yeah, I'm going to put it back down to normal speed. That scout just seems off. I think I'm just maybe overthinking it a little bit. That could be the case. Either way, we do of course have these Orcross being claimed. We do also have now the temple being deployed in the field by blue. And we don't see any minor god just for either player just yet. Hades could go for Athena or Ares. Let's see, anything involving ship damage, Toxotes, Cyclops, Hypastus, and Hoplite. Which I always find Ares a pretty good minor god, even though his god power did get nerfed, one of the few that did get nerfed from Gold Edition. Pierce Armor, Minotaur, and Saracius, which is quite nice. But I always find, it always seems like Ares seems like a pretty good minor god power to go for. But then again, the god power is nerfed from the Gold Edition counterpart, and Restoration is of course very strong. We do have Olar. I don't know if any of those affect naval. Usually the H2 gods don't really affect naval stuff too much, if I remember correctly. Or incorrectly. Either way, we do have, of course, Ares been deployed in the field. We'll get 1 free Cyclops. Hades now deployed out Ajax to obtain some relics. Speaking of which, let's see. Got Rhea's Crown. Make your towns cost less and generate a little bit of favor. Effectively get double favor from that relic. 1 for the relic, 1 from the town center. For your Fur Oboya, it gets hero health regen. We do have a spam bot. There we go. Delete the spam bot message. I'll ban that bot after this game. Human soldiers do bonus damage versus buildings, which is nice. Makes them a little bit more effective. And Dwarven Horseshoes to give cavalry increased movement speed. Red established quite a bit of infrastructure here. Maybe on to build us another town center there. We do now have a hammer ship being pulled out by Blue. For his first ship, he has triple docks. Oh, those are the hammer ship sounds. Oh, and we got Pestilence deployed in the field, which will reduce the production speed of military buildings and prevent arrows from firing. Which actually, oh! I just realized I forgot about the ability for it not to fire arrows. That's actually pretty good. Looks like it's only affecting the structure. I only see the green haze around this one. I don't see the green haze around this one. Of course, green haze did fade around that one. It's a global or is in set area. Target enemy town, inflicted plague. Can't say exactly the mechanics. All that I remember was in Gold Edition, it did affect an area where it prevented all milled production, which actually was very powerful, honestly. But now it was nerfed that only provides reduced production, but removing arrows is actually surprisingly powerful on the naval map. Which I don't think that was in fact existing in Gold Edition, so that is incredibly good. It makes Blue just wins the naval fight. Red could have gone for the Asgardian Bastion, but it would take a bit of time to build, but that would have given him a very good defensive platform. But then again, Pestilence will also disable its fire. Wow. Maybe I'm partially mistaken about Pestilence. I think I'm partially mistaken about it, but I still feel pretty firm my assessment. It was a nerf when it comes to ground warfare, but for naval warfare, yeah, I was 100% definitely wrong. And now Blue's able to obtain all the fishies. Got some local doggos here. Asgard being established there. You could put a bit more close to shore to get a bit more protection to allow him to get established with another dock. Red's going to, of course, have these fishing boats be picked off. Not much you can do about it. Villagers now pushing the way forward. And Red is actually building a town center. So Red's going for triple town center. Deletes, I think that was a store camp house. We got the Cyclops advancing way forward. He will keep all of his singular eyes open for enemies. We now have the watchtower. He can always complement it with some sentries. I always say sentries are good for protecting yourself from raids, not good at protecting yourself from armies. In this case, sentries will be very nice. Of course, it does also mean he can't deploy around the secondary town center while relying on the initial watchtowers for his first town center. But he does also have a good amount of extra civilian production through the docks and obtaining all the fishies. He does his patrol order. Remember as well, compared to Gold Edition, the Argos is now a Aphrodite unit. Let's see, right here. So this is how you get Argos now. So Hades has access to the Argos if he so choose. which is somewhat important. After all, you do get free naval myth units are largely untied to the minor gods now, and are just tied to the base faction, which is one way to balance it. Can't say that's a great way to balance it, but it does probably balance out. I don't know why. It feels like it's a... how to put it? I would like more naval-based myth units, but that's a bit of a tall order, honestly. To help sprinkle on more naval-based myth units to sprinkle on in. But then again, let's be frank as well, a lot of Age of Empires games are not good for Navy combat. I generally believe Age of Empires 4 does Navy combat the best. And a lot of RTSs could just simply abscond with any sort of Navy. It's mostly an afterthought. I'd say the game that does naval combat the best when it comes to RTSs as well as just general strategy games is probably not Universe at War, Supreme Commander. Universe at War doesn't even have Navy. Universe at or not Universe at War. Supreme Commander is probably one of the games that does Navy the best, because there's actually quite a bit of variety there. They actually put a pretty good amount of time into it. Other games that does Navy okay, yeah, as much like I love Age of Wonders Planetfall, it's still on the weaker side. I still tried to minimize Navy in that game. Let's see, any other games that does Navy well? That are both a real-time strategy or turn-based strategy, but has actual hybrid Navy and ground. Advanced Wars Days of Ruin is actually pretty good as a turn-based strategy game. Most of the time, any game that involves both Navy and ground forces, most of the time it's usually ground forces take the lead. And Navy sort of just got left to squander, and more just an okay, a bit more close to afterthought, because it's somewhat hard to make the two perfect. No, Red Alert did a pretty good job, Red Alert 3. Yeah, Red Alert 3 did a lot more emphasis on Navy. Though, balance-wise, that's also a bit of an issue with that game entirely, though. I think Red Alert 3 did Navy better than Red Alert 2. Because honestly, those older 2D RTSs did struggle with larger units moving around, and ships in those games were a bit larger in size. Let me know in the whether it be YouTube comments or in the live stream where we're watching here. Think of a RTS or turn-based strategy game that does both Navy and ground quite well. Speaking about stuff, doing quite well. Red has now obtained a 4th town center, improving its max population up to 180. Blue does have a fortress here, and of course the sentinels as well as the sentry towers. He has a lot of passive defense here, but Red can easily crush through it. Blue has, of course, aged up. Red has not. Red is now aging up to Ager to get access to the Rock Giants, a decent myth unit siege weapon. Petrol is definitely a good idea. Hades should probably just not even eye for even age up. He sees all this infrastructure here, or at least aware of it if he doesn't even see it. He doesn't even have medium infantry nor medium range soldiers. What is he missing? He has 0 gold miners at the moment. That's a bit of a problem. And looks like Blue did manage to get around to this gold deposit here. Red tried to wall it in, but looks like he didn't complete the walls. Additionally, with our castle vision received this here, has he seen that? He has not seen that gold deposit, that's why he didn't go for it. Asgardian Bastion under siege. We do have a Manticore here. He did age up Apollo. I do like Apollo and Manticores. Manticores would be particularly effective in this situation. I think Blue should eye for more Manticores. Toxays are not a bad idea as well in this situation. He is going for some Huskarls. which do of course have high range armor. While they won't counter Manticores, they'll at least be able to resist them. Though sometimes resistance is futile. There's Gillen Bersetti. H3 Gillen Bersetti combines with Tempest. He's bringing in all of his god powers. We're just going to try to close the game now. It's like zooming in causes some lag spike issues, so stay zoomed out. Gillen Bersetti does have a bit of AoE to his attack, so he has to scatter his forces. Gillen Bersetti's down to half health. It is across his divine heroes, so it should be resistant to heroes. Gillen Bersetti has gone down. The Sentinels and the Watchtowers combined defensive. Now the Asgard Bastion being put in the field. Shades being summoned on in. Red is smashing through with a pretty sizable force here. Got heavy infantry being researched by Blue to go focus on Hypasus. Good idea there. Fortress taking a bit of a beating. And a lot of Red's forces are actually quite wounded as well. They won't last too much longer. He's getting hit by multiple lines of defenses now. Chiron has been summoned. Fortress may still yet be safe. I think he needs to task some villagers to it. He has a good number of piggies here for extra food as well, so he doesn't have to worry about hunting. But over here, these villagers getting hit as well. This may be game over for Blue. The fortress stays alive for now, but down to 250. It is rapidly decreasing. Got even hill forts firing away. Red has a massive amount of fort production here. Blue right now has no gold miners, has some builds from wood. He has on resources at the moment. He's losing good enough villages trying to save the fortress there. And Blue has resigned. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Yeah, my Valley Peasants definitely went improved with seeing it being used in naval man. I have to, what am I thinking? Need to fix this. This is a replay. There we go. Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Age Mythology replay. Spawn top right side as the Cyan Thor. We've got Roko. Spawn bottom left side as the Gray Hades. We've got Strider FX, who's merely trying to hurl some beer. Not exactly easy. He's also has a couple villagers on wood. But either way, when it comes to Relux's map, we do have the Kubi drum. Gives heroes more DPS per missing HP. Not bad. For Hades, I don't know if that's good or bad item for Hades. Probably be decent for Thor so you get a good number of heroes. But would make what limited heroes Hades have very useful. Let's see, researchers have increased hit points. That's probably very useful for Hades. Feather Zheng Wei. Trickle Wood, nice for any player. And the Blanket of Emperor's Zoe. Boons more crushing siege weapons. Useful for either player, but that may... it's just going to be used for either player. Nice bit of hurting there. Yes, that maintaining the villagers on wood. We do have, of course, the Dwarven Armory boom in order to get extra dwarves going. Of course, Thor can age up to Forseti or to Freyja to give access to cavalry hit points or for hero hit points versus troll stuff, infantry speed, hero speed, and Herdman and Berserk's hack armor. AD, of course, can be aged up to Athena or to Ares. Get the Hoplite Prodromos, got Toxite and Hypastus. Or you got Hoplite as well as Infantry Pierce Armor. Lithium's gonna be nice. I know the Troll did get a massive buff from Gold Edition, but still not super powerful. The most elegant of weapons, the Boulder. Cyclopses are still quite nice. We do have Athena being deployed on the field, give access to the Minotaur. And over here we do have Freyja to get access to the Valkyrie. So, for Thor, maybe I'm for some cavalry play. Though honestly, Valkyries are a pretty nice myth unit either way. Hard to say exactly what goes through both players' minds, just possibilities. Tiny bit of walls being established over here. Now we do have Athena aged on up. Norm the Minotaur has been spawned, the free one. Here, a large number of goats being obtained, or piggies, the wee, all the way to their new home, which will be my stomach. We do have the scout here, scouting out the town center. How damning of him. And it looks like Gray is finding a good number of pigs. The Berserk did take time to build some walls over here as well, which did start some scouting. Got some Herseers. There's a Valkyrie now established. And of course, Norm the Minotaur does find this Herseer, which will be easy win for the Herseer. Though the Minotaur is getting some decent damage onto it. Only has a minus 50% multiplier versus heroes. And does get killed off pretty quickly there. Mostly just sort of threw away the Minotaur. And it looks like Gray's obtaining some chickens. I heard they taste like chicken, and that is a large number of pigs. 18 pigs. I only see, yeah, 4 pigs was it 19 actually? Did I, yeah, misread that? But 19 pigs, that's actually absurd. Could age up to Athena to get even more pigs via the Curse God power as well. You definitely should get the husbandry upgrade as soon as possible to give all these pigs a husband. Yeah, I've got there. It also improves the herdables food fattening rate by 25%. So it goes from 2 to 2.5, right? Yes. Yeah, that's definitely very important. That is a large amount of bacon there. And I'm going to say a large number of pig puns. That's definitely for sure. Looks like Sign does find another piggy. I think Gray is trying to reenact the campaign mission. What was it called again? The interlude mission between the Egyptians and the Norse? Oh well. We've got a number of Herseers here and a handful of throwing Axemans. Oh, we've got Great Halls being deployed in the field, being deployed in a heretical angle. This is definitely heresy. Both players do have a secondary town center, so we've just got a bit of eco phase. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit, so there's nothing much to talk about other than food. Hades does a good job of keeping hold on his Sentinel's God power until he actually needs it. It does take time to get the watchtowers. Sign has picked up this relic there. The forest fire god power could be quite nice to create an opening or burn down some of these wooden walls. Eric's there, surrounding the watchtower with some housing. Archer range now being established. Another Valkyrie and 2 Scotty for the Frost Giants. The Frost ability is a pretty nice god power. It is effectively a large stasis ability. Last time I checked, it did get a buff. It went from 99%, providing 99% armor up to exactly 100%. Wait a second. Does that mean they also take, do they take divine damage when they're in that state? Or do they actually have a divine armor, 100% divine armor resistance as well? Probably would. Balance-wise, it should. Then again, it's not like, the Norse has anything that could use divine armor. Oh, then again, you got the Draugrs for Freyr you can get, which do have a bit of divine damage. And of course, it's always team games. Scout is now being researched. He is also going for bronze shields. This gives access to the frost giants. We got a number of hoplites here. The number is 2, nothing too significant. A handful of Toxdays, Achilles, and Ajax. He's a little bit slow to age on up. He just needs to make sure he keeps villagers out of this region. They can use watchtowers and potentially some sentinels to protect them. He's taking time to butcher the swines now, not letting them fully get fattened, but there's so much swine there. I suppose how greedy you want to be. Me? I'm more gluttonous than greedy. It's also taking time to kill off the deer, which may not seem important, but that decay is pretty important. He goes to clean up what pigs over there, then try to eat the delicious venison. After all, everybody knows venison tastes better than pork. Great Howl, Longhouse, and another temple here. Frost Giant has been summoned. We do not have Apollo being deployed in the field. I really do like Apollo. I just generally like Apollo. I love the Manticore. The Manticore is one of my favorite myth units of the game. A very, very good, solid backline DPS myth unit, which I think people should go for more often. Then you also got Temple Healing, giving you a healing source. Not too important, but it's quite nice. And some other small stuff, like the Underworld Pass is pretty nice god power. Though when I do like Apollo mostly for the Manticores. Got a couple villagers there. These ladies are going to run away from these raiding cavalry. Has broken through the walls. They have been breached. Now we've got a hill fort over there. Also queued on up the winter harvest, getting improved farm rate for all food resources, particularly for farming. Very nice. You can always go for it earlier or later, doesn't really matter. It's always a good idea to go for natural food sources before the not so natural ones. But it makes not so natural food resources even better. Good number of hoplites here to counter the raiding cavalry. Very nice. Decent Toxday line as well. Frost has been summoned. Does freeze the entire army. He's going to just ask the raiding cavalry to get on top of the Toxdays there. Very nice. He needs to get some reinforcements and send them in at the last moment, roughly. Oh, look at that. He is actually taking time to wall in. Bray can at least enter through over here. Toxdays, of course, will technically counter the throwing axemen. Hoplites could take time to start breaking down these walls there. 15 seconds remaining. And there are some walls there. Frost has been deactivated there. Forest fire there. Trying to help. Restoration floor in the field as well. Very nice there. Achilles is almost down. Achilles has gone down there. Hoplites, these are pretty good generalist effective unit there. Looks like these ooh, those Toxdays getting immolated by the forest fire. Of course, science units getting covered in ash, but there's no friendly fire damage to that god power anymore. And looks like that's a lot of shades. He did lose a large number of human soldiers, so he got a decent rebate of 10 shades. They're not great, but they're free. Villagers will have consumed all the pork. And right now, Hades has consumed a lot of food right now. There's also a pile of venison here, which looks like they are not going to it. I would say it's a good idea to start eating that up. They're quite delicious. So I kicked my chair pretty hard right there. Now I do have this whatchamacallit, a hill fort going on up. Portable battery rams being deployed in the field. And Hades is still not actually aged on up. He has plenty of wood and has a decent amount of gold reserves. This is having trouble with his food. He is mass producing farms at the moment. And Thor is actually pretty close to aging up again. He may just age up. Go for Tyre or Balder. Honestly, both going to be half bad. Fimbulwinter and Ragnar both good god powers. Berserks and Huskarl techs, or you get Cavalry and Portable Rams. You do not have the Hunter's Axe.
Skipan.
Both Jarls being deployed in the field. And some of these crown cranes being eaten. I wonder how they taste in real life.
Yo.
Some idle villagers there. No one's being... Also sort of a good idea to also start eating the berries as well. Farms provide 0.7. Berry bushes have a better food gathering rate. And not to mention, looks like Gray will lose a good number of villagers here as well. Looks like Cyan's going to take quite a good position in this game. Has the tech advantage. He's also aging up as well, going for Tyre to get the funnest wolf brood. Also, another age up would probably just be outright win for him at the current rate. Gray has a decent force in the field. Cyan has even greater force though. Not to mention much more tech. We got a decent number of Valkyries in the field as well. Able to heal himself up between combats, always quite nice. Cyan's not pushing forward. I don't think all of his army's right there. I see some units over there. Cyan's army's a little bit split up. The large number of it's also condensed into higher population consumption cavalry units. Portable ran not on the field, poking some of these units, and also drawing a lot of fire from this Tuxtace. It's better to hit the raiding cavalry than the portable battering ram. And now Cyan's ground army is making some good gains, and Gray has back the game. As Angry saying, keep watching, and on to the next replay. And before I get started next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. Howdy, I'm back. And the last replay I have in store before we go to live games. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Age of Mythology replay. Spawn top left side as the blue Thor, we've got Dagon. Spawn to bottom right side as the gray Freyr, we've got Winter. So Norse mirror matchup, but unlike most mirror matchups in games, these of course not necessarily a mirror matchup. We do have the Dwarven arm going on up. I got pretty much a standard Thor. I'm going to do a bit of a Dwarf boom. You can Dwarven armory boom. When it comes to relics on the map, we do have the feathers of Baifang. Human soldiers do bonus damage to buildings, which is quite nice. Armors of Achilles, giving your units a bit more hack armor. Over here, got the Gametons, Odin's Wand, which does, of course, provide cheaper temple research. And for Shingon's Orker, how do you pronounce that name? Whip, we do have the better farming upgrades. Blues obtain some delicious wine. And Blues obtain some goats there. Blue does manage to grab some goats there. Of course, the goat does, and Gray does steal one of them back. The other one will escape on out.
Yo.
And looks like we do have Freyja almost researched. No Ulers, so no Asgardian Bastions. We got some Valkyries. And with that, I'm going to slow down because it looks like we're going to see some Valkyrie raids before Forseti gets on the field. Forseti does give access to the troll to troll your opponent and throw some rocks at them. There's the Valkyrie. Valkyrie now pushing her way forward. We do have the Thunder of Hammer of Thunder now being researched, giving Perseus increased melee damage by 15%. And also grants them more favor generation. The Valkyrie's not taking a bit of damage there. The Forest Fire was used, not to any real effect. Troll is now on the field to help engage the Valkyrie. Does offer 250 health. Does actually have a nice mix of 50% range and melee armor. While the Valkyrie does have, of course, 50 and 55 more health, less damage, of course, so less range. Where's the Troll? Yeah, it looks like Troll does have a DPS of 12 as opposed to DPS of 11.7. Only times 2 multiplier versus other myth units though. So we'll lose out versus the Valkyrie. Couple barracks now being pulled up by Blue, as was a Great Hall. Got around her series on the field. We've got 4 of them. Of course, do provide extra favor. Raiding cavalry being established. Not medium raiding cavalry just yet, but looks like do have some thundering hooves to give Valkyrie speed and cavalry speed, as well as Valkyrie and cavalry hit points.
Hver þar? Tilbúin.
First here, of course, we have the Thunder Hammers. They offer a bit more damage than normal. Valkyrie easily got popped there. And now they're starting to carry for the falling back. Since the Valkyrie's down, no health regen.
Skipan?
Also, not enough surface area on this cow. And now with the boar being killed on off there. Do not have the dwarven breastplate being researched. And it looks like both players not being hyper aggressive at the moment, raiding cavalry. I think they're so far just trying to scout out stuff. Over here, we do now have the Hall of Thanes, improving infantry and hero hit speed. Thundering Hooves have now been researched. Now these cavalry move at 6.6, a very fast speed. He is going for more raiding cavalry. He's also going for medium infantry, even though he does not have medium cavalry, and he has pretty much only cavalry on the field. Place up here, back here, we do have what appears to be more raiding cavalry and some goats. Looks like blue does find a good number of goats here. No husbandry. Blue's being a bit of a home wrecker there. Trying to destroy this house. And Gray's just getting more raiding cavalry deployed in the field. Gray's now going for husbandry. Not too many goats in the field. This is probably meant for the increased food carrying capacity. Yeah, since both players are ecoing up, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Do now Gray now going for another town center. Blue has as well. And now I got the old Sarks push way forward. My apologies for my drink open up. We do now have those Ulfsarks taking a bit of damage there from the town center. And those are going to start hacking apart these caribous. Oh, none of these reindeer are going to be serving Santa anytime soon. Throwing Axemen does get some damage there. They are medium throwing Axemen. These are, of course, medium berserks as well. Healing Spring now being followed up by blue somewhere. Looks like these Ulfsarks will be going down. And now we do have, was it Bragi there? Yep, Bragi being researched by Thor now. Bragger has also researched Bragi. Looks like Gray has gone for another town center. And we do now have Bradley being researched by Gray as well. Blue is eyeing for also his bronze upgrades. We'll also give him a handful of dwarves to dig a hole. And a big round of Ulfsarks. So it's like Thor's just going straight Ulfsarks. Battle board now deployed in the field. Throwing axe would be a decent counter to the Ulfsarks with the bonus damage. Gray's going for a mix of his own Ulfsarks and throwing Axemans. Both players can probably skip the Pierce Armor, though Thor does get dwarves for it. Against Mass Ulfsarks, I do think what's called battle boards would be quite nice to disperse the formations. Got a number of throwing X-Men hitting these raiding cavalry. Even though they are not exactly necessarily great if it's raiding cavalry, if you get enough of them, they will chop them apart. Little fort established here by a good squad of Perseers. You now have a round of Goatees now being pulled and fueled by Gray, including some Jarls. We don't think Jarls would be particularly good at this moment. We do have now the Call of Valhalla, improving Berserk's hit points by 10% and give a bit of favor upon death. We do now have a bit of draft forces being researched by Gray, including the Levy Hill Fort, which only improves Huskarl's training time, nothing else. That could be upgraded, that could be skipped. Gray may help out Blue in keeping that technology, though keeping getting draft forces research is not a bad thing. But looks like the hill fort may go down before it's complete. Yeah, looks like it. We do got a little bit of myth unit health regen there. We also have Balder to give access to the Fire Giant as well as Ragnarok. Fortified Town Center for Gray. We now have a hill fort being established. There's research there by Freyr. He needs a lot more gold before he can age on up. Thor's getting a decent stockpile of gold. One thing you could do as well is eye for things that won't be transformed into Heroes of Ragnarok, such as trade caravans, in order to keep some economy going, and then that gold can be used to build out dwarves. Another one just over here. There we go. Ah, great. Got more spam bots. Got decent amount of infrastructure now being pulled up by Gray. Blue's going for some more hill forts. Both sides are just setting on up. Got some more Jarls being established by Blue. Oh, I didn't realize this up here. Gray's not advancing. Getting some damage on all this. Blue's armor's rotating around. Blue has armor 117 versus Gray's armor 124. Fire Giant gets a pretty good volley there onto these Raiding Cavalry. He does still have to have the healing spring there because apparently water is very useful for Fire Giants. You now have a gold mine being satisfied by Blue, a dwarven gold mine, which should provide him a decent amount of income for age 4. And you're gonna save up favor for more dwarven gold mines. Alright, you're all just good generalist cavalry. Blue's battle board is bucking around. Troll is still alive, trolling around as well. You have looks like Blue's over making some good headway against Gray. So they both have similar military size. Gray's bringing a massive reinforcement from Axemen and some Jarls. Blue has a good number of Jarls in the well, so both players could eye for some Erdmen. Blue could just fall back to the healing fountain there. That battle boar needs to take a drink. And if it's Norse, it's probably going to try to drink some mead. If Blue pushes too far over here, Gray can pop out Gillenburg City as well. Gray has probably a little bit too much wood at the moment. Has well over 1,000 wood. Has good stockpile of gold though. Needs some more food overall for Gray to get his age up going. I just saw a bunch of wood get probably sold off there for Gray. Blue's now going for some portable battering rams as well as the Sons of Sleipnir, improving cavalry melee damage by 20% and adds a bit bonus damage versus ranged soldiers. 100% more bonus damage. So it makes Blue's Jarls a good counter unit to the throwing axemen. Flame weapons by Blue. Gray can count out some flame weapons of his own. And Blue goes for a forward healing fountain there, but it gets gifted to his opponent immediately. Was that on purpose? And looks like Blue's armor just got disintegrated, so it gave his person a healing spring there. That had a mistake, right? Now his opponent getting some excellent free health regen there. Those throwing axes are doing something a little bit fancy with that flame effect there. Guess that's something got updated. Here's some batteries being pulled up by Gray. Blue's troll still alive, trolling around. Blue has some portable banner rams also advanced before. Plus Squall's been pulling the field to counter throwing axemen, which not necessarily a great counter. While they get Blue good bonus damage versus the throwing axemen, they have more range pierce armor than hack armor. Blue's now going for more fire giants. Fire giants definitely a good call. They're very, very good. I'm a bit more biased towards the ranged myth units. Fire giants, mentors, lampedes. Those got the the temple there. We got 2 more fire giants over here. And fire giants do also have a bit of crush damage to them as well. Also, it's now connecting with those throwing axemen for Gray. He does manage to bring back the fire giants to the healing spring to cool them off from all the fire they've been taking. Throwing fire giants do get a good volley there. I hear some garrison move stuff. Gray's going for more raiding cavalry and throwing axemen now. And it looks like Blue is holding for the time frame. Gray has a massive stockpile of favor. He can bring another flaming weapons. He's currently also aging up to Vidar to get access to the Fafnir, as well as some other good research. And also he could perhaps bring in soon to be 2 of his final fourth Age 4 God Power, the Inferno. Blue's going for more Fire Giants.
Skipan.
Looks like some Blue's forces who get split on off. Bit of a mistake there. Blue only also appears to only have medium rating cavalry, even though he's H4. Doesn't even have heavy. Does have champion berserks.
Yeah.
More Fire Giants being summoned from over here.
Skipan.
Blue's trying to establish another fort here. Blue's now advancing. Fire Giants do have a bit of crush damage to them. And here comes Ragnarok. Ragnarok and roll. Sorry, I love that pun too much. Fire Giants get a pretty good volley there. Takes a good formation throwing axemen. Galen instead of being summoned for defense. Throwing Fire Giants were, of course, caught out in the open. Vider is complete. Now that the Inferno can be summoned. Heroes of Ragnarok are connecting. Here comes Inferno. I don't know how effective the Inferno is versus the Heroes of Ragnarok. Pretty effective, but he does have the Healing Spring here. The number of these forms got destroyed, but that's perfectly fine. Blue may want to hang around the Healing Spring just to get that health regen going. Of course, still donate the other Healing Spring to his opponent. Galen Bracetti is starting to get a little bit tired being so far from home. And the Healing Spring is secured by Blue. Fafnir advancing. Does have a bit of crush damage to his attack. Actually decent amount, honestly.
Skip.
Right now, Thor has a pretty good reserve of resources, so it'd be a good idea to get some more villagers. Fire Giant throwing out the throwing axe gets a very good volley there. Lucio retains the Healing Spring. Goldie taking a good job being micro to focus fire as the Fire Giant. Very good micro there. Fafnir taking some decent damage. Doesn't do any AoE damage, basically what I can see on the stat card. And there's some urbanized terrain issues there. We've got the towns that are coming down to the purple battlegrams. Dwarves can try shanking them though. And this Healing Spring does not get converted just yet, being saved by this house there. Got more Heroes of Ragnarok pushing me forward. And Blue is kind of taking over here with a decent force, including batting rams, so it's going to be a bit of base restitution. If Fafnir does go down there, and another Fire Giant gets another good flank there, immolating a good number of those throwing axemen. Heroes of Ragnarok and Berserks are slicing through the throwing axemen now. Heroes of Ragnarok are classified as infantry, like her seers. So they are countered by the throwing axemen. Battery Ram sticking out that temple there, or Great Hall. And Blue's now going on to his opponent's space as well. More reinforcements being stringed in for Gray. Not taking time to regroup back here.
Skip.
Which he should. Gray also has enough favor for another Inferno. He may try to spawn over here to engage his army. A large number of Portal Battering Rams escorted by a very similar Huskarls and has a Fire Giant. Gray's now has another town center over here. And Gray's now going for the Secret of the Titans. The secret word is 3. Or password. Or was it please? On the 4. So Blue's making some decent progress over here. I think it's a little bit overaction here by Gray. Throwing accidents do take another volley there from that Fire Giant. Blue's going for more Fire Giants. Inferno now available for Gray. And Blue has resigned. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started, no, never mind. Let's go ahead. That was my last replay had downloaded, so on to the live browsing multiplayer games. And hopefully I can find a handful. Start from down here. Check for any player that seems like a higher ranking player. And when in doubt, just start from the bottom. You know, that's probably a pretty good replay to go. Already 35 minutes of the game, so it should be a pretty good replay with decently ranked players. So let's do this one. Not perfect rank, but I won't be able to do that over 5 games. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Age Mythology replay. Spawn on top of the left side as the blue Poseidon. We've got Born. Spawn bottom right side as the red Raw. We got Tiki, Taki, Mossy. Tiki, Taki, Mousy. No idea how to precisely pronounce that. The more I look at it, the more it just gets permutated in my mind. For relics, we got the Ship of Fingernails. Quite delicious. Gives a bit of food trickle, hence why it's delicious. We got the Titan's Treasure, making your minor gods and the Secret of Titans cheaper. Very, very nice. Makes all the 10%. Got the Demeter's Throne. Makes your drop sites and housing costless and build faster. Very nice. And of course for over here, Paligman's Statue, increasing villagers' hit point by 40%, which is okay. Make a bit more raid resistant. I suppose this one here, for the cheaper drop-off and housing, is less important for Raw, but still faster build times, even if they are free, is still quite nice. But granted, it's also on Poseidon's side of the map, which, actuality, that can be very strong for Poseidon. Now, think about it. After all, it means you get perhaps a spammable source of militia. Red is now building Obelisk here to torment his opponent. Wait, you can power obelisks? What happens if you empower obelisks? We do now Thesis taking out the obelisk there to torment him no longer. Obelisk the tormentor. Of course, in Age 1, his damage is not great, 1.6. And the obelisk will torment him no longer. It doesn't. I didn't realize you can actually empower obelisks. I'm not sure what it does. Probably just improve vision range, likely. Let's see, we do have Ares been researched by Poseidon, give access to Cyclopes, as well as a number of researches. And over here we do have Ra Thoth research, does give him Shifting Sands and to the Wadjet. I hate the Wadjet. The Wadjet's horrible, I hate the Wadjet. Shifting Sands, however, is a very good god power. But I hate Wadjets. They are, in Gold Edition, they're basically the same classification of effectiveness as the Troll. In other words, not good. The other Cyclops being hit there by the Wadjet there. Thesis does stab the Wadjet 3 times, almost takes it out. Granted, that is any sort of hero is very good against myth units. Another Wadjet being put on the field. You probably should take time to heal on up.
And
the Pharaoh is a good combat unit there. Gives you a little more sight, range and sight. Thought so. I mean, it's literally a spotting structure. I would assume it would provide more spotting. I just never thought about it. You could power it. And most of the times, you shouldn't. It's not worth the priest taking time. The priest is worth 100 gold, and the obelisk is worth 5 gold. Don't even take time to empower it. Just literally build another obelisk and go away. If you want more sight range. It would be cheaper than spending the 100 resource of a priest to continuously empowering it. Wadjet's now attacking. Cyclops engaging the temple. The Cyclops does offer a decent amount of crush damage. We've got Peasants on the field, then disables defensive arrows. Those towns did not get affected by it, while the towers did. The Wadgets have gone down. Those went inside the Sentry Tower. Of course, this cannot fight back. The Pharaoh may want to stop empowering and start attacking. The Pharaoh does have decent combat capability. Peasants will last for another 30 seconds. And I always say peasants did get actually nerfed from Gold Edition. Still a laborer there, still a little bit idle, trying to shank these units. Pharaoh does take out Thesis there. Atlantia is still alive, as are a couple Hippus. Another watch is being deployed on the field. I suppose he's not deployed down any barracks on the field just yet, so that's effectively his only combat unit, and the priest. Looks like now the berries are being obtained by these villagers.
And which?
I don't think he's gotten the research to pick up relics yet, because if I were to have him selected, I don't see the pickup button when highlighting a relic like say it does with the Pharaoh. And now we do have the Lord of Horses giving a little bit of health regen and line of sight to his cavalry. It's a nice cheap upgrade. The health regen is very nice in between conflicts. And line of sight just makes your horses just a bit more effective scouts, which is generally the nature of horses. Makes me wonder if Poseidon should have the capability of rebuilding his initial scout. That's a pig. There's a scout. Does it get affected by Lord of Horses? Yes, it does. Atlantia does take a bit of damage there. Atlantia is, of course, the fast myth hero. She has 5.6 move speed. Hippus has 5.8, so it slightly slows down the formation, but nothing too significant. What slows down the formation is a 4.3 movement hoplite in the same formation. Best peel him off, send him home. Maybe protect some villagers with his pointy stick. Got a couple hoplites here. I would recommend for Blue to pull them off the formation.
And which?
Another test is being researched. We're playing full on field. Got Hippus and Hoplite here, but looks like he's at pop cap at the moment. Red's going for the plow. And we do have some Hypasus being deployed on the field by Zeus. Not Zeus, Poseidon, blah. Mine's melted. It's a Friday. And I drink a little bit too much caffeine. But then again, it's the weekend. I can drink some extra amounts of caffeine. Who needs sleep? Probably I do, because I haven't had 8 hours of sleep for about 2 years now. Looks like Red's going to be eating the piggies. They are mostly fattened. Sorry, I just see these red dots up here thinking there's something. And they are. Nothing too important at the moment. Blue's not going for proxy stable. That's interesting. Oh, we got Sobek being queued on up to get access to Pet Trusos, which can be upgraded to Pet Sobek. Thanks, Grant. The villager can get stabbed by the Spearman. And of course, he is fighting against Poseidon, which means cavalry, so it's a good idea to go for more of a Spearman build. And of course, Poseidon's also immediately went for some high passes to counter out the Spearmen as well. Let's see, any upgrades? Of course, he does have access to Deimos, gives early Hypasus, as well as can increase her damage. But does not have medium Hypasus just yet. You know what's weird? It's about last time I've seen actually age 1 Hypasus. rather than the H2 medium high pastus, let alone H3. Not something you actually see too often. We now got medium cavalry and medium high infantry being deployed in the field. Sobek almost deployed in the field as well. Get access to some laser crocs. It's everybody's favorite. I mean, when you're growing up with the game, with Gold Edition, lasers on crocodiles. What more could you want? You also get a flying bird to go along with it. You now have the sun-dried mud bricks.
Into you.
Spearmen are currently not even meeting spearmen at the current moment. Mid-gold stronghold being put on the field. I have a feeling we're going to see some camels. Spearman does fall back there. They're just a reserve amount just in case he needs any. Mid-gold stronghold does have access to dark waters research, so he looks like it's going to be some camel play. Which also means they will avoid the bonus damage from the Hypasus, so very good idea. And they do have a little bit of bonus damage versus range units as well. Do have more Petrosos being deployed in the field. Though there may be some pathing issues right there. I think the crocodiles can't fit through the crack there in the formation. Yep, I think, yep, looks like there's not enough room for crocodiles to go through that crack. So a bit of construction here. He could probably just delete the lumber camp and the granary here. The granary is definitely can be deleted. Lumber camp, of course, is technically free, so you won't lose any resources, just a bit of time. Though, of course, also means it opens a bit of path there. Or red could simply just abandon that gold mine, and let's just go for this gold mine here. Got a Pegasus there to spot, though. Let's see, how much does red see? Oh, red does not see that. Yep, red starts falling back there. Doesn't take too many or any losses at the moment. But still, that is not a whole lot of vision there. Over here, do have a Miggle Stronghold, which does take out that, that seemed like a little bit higher attack speed than normal. Maybe I'm just going crazy. Hestros gets a nice volley there. Of course, I don't have a really good range, just a good range until it gets the Pet Sobek upgrade. Good. Now the camera is trying to engage, a little bit outnumbered, of course. Poseidon's Age on up does have access to Dionysus and get access to Bronze and a Hail Hydra. Looks like trying to intercept the reinforcements, but do now heal Hippolyta, an excellent anti-myth unit, range hero. If I remember her mythology, she had a really heavy bow.
In which?
Red's army, of course, is entering piecemeal. He's always been having a smaller army this entire game. Went for the faster age up, but has not deployed an army to stabilize.
Into you.
Cavalry picking out some individual units there, no problem. Miggle Stronghold is damaged. Plus, he's trying to get back in the Miggle Stronghold, but he does not have a force to protect it, so he may lose everything there. Got some, looks like a Podromos there. Counter cavalry units. Against all the cameras, that's quite understandable. Hydra's now with the 2 heads. Hippolio's getting hit there.
Go.
Oh, and we've got the Locust being summoned. Looks like getting some decent hits on the Hypasus. They're already pretty wounded, all those all those human soldiers. So the Locust, in that situation, being okay damage unit, which is simply just enough to save him. Which I suppose is pretty good. After all, using those Locusts there to save 10 villagers in the Pharaoh is actually probably good. He does have boiling oil of research, so can defend himself. And he's also got the sun-dried bricks. I forget exactly what that does. But looks like Red was stabilized thanks to a very, very nice Locust there. I generally don't like seeing Locusts being pulled against armies, but I cannot deny that was a very good Locust. Hit points, gold cost, and building time. So a nice little upgrade there. Hydra is still alive at the moment. Running 2 heads, maybe pretty close to being a 3rd head. And of course, that's how you get head. We do now have ballistics, copper weapons, and upgrades there. Red still cannot pick up relics with his priests, so all the relics that he's been hearing is blue, obtaining relics, which is very nice. Has obtained 2. Got the rock here, can be utilized for a bit more scouting. And looks like rock was used for effective scouting at least, able to allow them to pick off some villagers. Atlantia trying to rotate around to engage. Mythology Stronghold has not been fully repaired. Go for more camera eyes there. Oh, and blue's now deployed up bronze. Bronze, of course, is 9 parts copper, 1 parts tin. Camel caravan, or not camel caravans, camel riders do go down there. Mythology Stronghold has been cleared up by a decent amount. The priest is almost down. Now trying to hit the Mythology Stronghold once again. Sun-Dried Bricks did increase his health a little bit. There does have crenellations. Of course, copper weapons. And now Mythology Stronghold actually has 69 damage. That's quite nice. And also has a pretty good attack speed as well. So it's able to defend itself for a decent amount. Of course, that was the priest or the pharaoh empowering for the faster attack speed. Looks like the Hydra's managed to grow its 3rd head and does go down there. Combination does give the Mythology Stronghold plus 50% multiplier versus cavalry, which against Poseidon, that's actually a pretty good upgrade. Rain being summoned there. You could try popping the Pharaoh on the far side to empower the Mythology Stronghold to double its DPS. Blue is having trouble taking it out. And it looks like Blue's going to fall back there. Evacuate the villagers. Try to get what repairs you can. He has over almost 600 gold there. Some spearmen push forward. Doesn't even look like they're even medium spearmen just yet.
Into you.
Camarade's trying to intercept. Right now, we got 57 versus 45 civilians. So Red is behind there, as was military units. And Blue has a pretty good stockpile of gold. Red has a mix of everything. I think Red wished he was playing the Italians in Age of Empires 3 with this resource distribution. Remember as well, Raw does have lesser empowerments with the priest. He can always use empowerment on the Niggle stronghold there. If you want some extra defense. And now Blue brings some siege weapons. Raw, of course, has aged on up and actually aged up first, but simply is not really deployed on any sort of military force in view.
Gary.
Other than a handful of select camel riders. Try and take out these Petrobolos, but those Niggle strongholds will go down. And Pharaoh could be sacked. He's pretty wounded, 4 health.
Into you, Gary.
Yep. Oh, he does have medium spearmen. Pharaoh does manage to skip on out of there. The rest of his infrastructure will be going on down. Got more Prodromos being put on the field. In which they can also get a bit of divine damage because of the Ares research. Don't have at the moment.
Wedge.
Here's some priest healing.
And
Looks like the Pharaoh's getting much needed healing. Gold a little bit oversaturated at the moment.
Into you.
Chariot archers here, unupgraded. Do have, of course, heavy camel riders. Petitros now deployed in the field. No Petsovic upgrade just yet. Starting to fry some Hydra. Another Petitros now deployed in the field. Both Hydras have 2 heads. But this one Hydra is about to go on down. Dromus does get picked off there. Petitros squints down. 3-headed Hydra advancing the other direction. Over the left side, looks like a unit of some sort got shanked by the villagers. And now I got some camel riders able to intercept these siege weapons. Petitros just need fallback for even heroes. Not the fastest of beasts. A couple catapults there. Camel riders are advancing.
Into you.
And Red has held off, has currently a larger military force in the field. When it comes to resource float, Raw does have a good food reserve, has no wood reserve, and no villagers on wood. Small gold reserve. So it looks like there will be no more chariot archers for Red. Blue, of course, has a good gold reserve, needs more food. Needs to establish some farms there. There's still some delicious crown cranes and gazelles on the left side. Now we've got a 4-headed Hydra, which is almost down. The Hydra has been slain. Camera is pushed right forward, while Hippolyta is a ranged unit. It is not classified as a ranged soldier, only classified as hero, so the camera riders would not get their plus 25% bonus damage against to her. Got some Peltas deployed in the field. Not even medium Peltas deployed in the field. Help counter out these Shard Archers. They have 19 range. Peltas have range of 18. So technically Shard Archers can outrange them, but technically by the time they get done with the wind down, Peltas has retaliated. And don't know if Raw has access to the Bone Archer upgrade. Nope, no bone arrows. Is that age 4 research or age 3 of research? Can't remember. Not available either way.
Gary.
There are a number of camera riders deployed in the field. Trade archers could start advancing. And here comes another round of locusts. Huh, looks like Locust may have actually got a decent buff there. It did a decent amount of damage passing through that siege weapon. And there's not so great damage against all those units there. Maybe the Locust does hack damage. Actually, I don't know what type of damage locusts do. Is it hack? Is it pierce? Is it divine? I don't... Wait. Could be crush. Because these guys have 70% crush armor. These guys have 99. It could be crush damage. I have no idea. You have now the dark waters for the camels. Giving some the camels, including camel caravans, hit points and health regen.
In which?
Now, a little bit of health regen will make his camel skull longer way. Though priest can also help him out with healing as well. Coronation is now being researched by Blue. The nano camels in the field, which does make sense.
Goering.
Prodromos could be accounted to camel caravans, but also be counted to him. Right now, the heavy camel, or not caravans, camel riders do 11 damage. And I think there's a Prodromos here. It does do 10 damage, a little bit less, but far higher multiplier, but lower base damage. So 8 times by 3.5, so I would say that's about 24, add 4, so 28.
Into you.
Versus the, effectively 23. So Prodromos will have higher damage there, a little bit less health. Does have only bronze damage, no bronze armor versus or copper. This guy has bronze stuff, so Prodromos will be accounted with camel caravans. 120 resources. Prodromos do cost 110. So yeah, Prodromos should be adequate counter to the camel. Did I say still camel caravans? Camel riders. Ah.
Goering.
Of course, both. It's still all about positioning and all that sort. Prodromos have movement speed of 6.3. Camel riders have 6. Both have high movement speed. Just one's higher than the other. Both sides have now has researched crenellations.
In which? In which?
We have this Miggle stronghold being pulled in the field. So Red's going to have trouble because he saw blocks on scaffolding. And actually did start the build there and gets nearly killed off. That one villager just wasted a bunch of resources there. Camera is pushing up here.
Into you.
It looks like Blue's starting to win the fight there. Blue has more military units in the field at the moment. And Red does not have any proper counter to the Hydra. Now Red does have the 3 town centers. Blue has 3 towns as well, going for the flood controls and Petruchos. No Petsovic. Petruchos does kill off of Prodromos there, picking off some of these peltasts now. It looks like Blue's designed for a counter force.
Goering.
Time for another Miggle stronghold here. Hippolyta trying to engage the Petruchos. Miggle stronghold is now complete, going for more camera riders there. A good concave of the Chariot Archers, but Peltas engaging them. Camels being picked off one at a time. Petruchos did go down there. Villagers getting hit there a little bit. More camera riders push way forward. Chariot Archers starting to get picked off one at a time, but the Peltas as well. Villagers have escaped into the Miggle stronghold. 17, 20 of them there. Going for another Miggle stronghold.
Goering.
Hammerheart is now
Into you.
falling back. This Miggle Stronghold could get a bit of repairs going. Obelisk being established here for a bit of spotting. Definitely a cheaper option than trying to go for a lighthouse.
Brig.
It's actually been a while. Have I ever seen a lighthouse deployed more? I suppose it's an Age 4 structure, but I don't think I've ever seen a lighthouse multiplayer to ever deployed in the field. Very good spotting unit though, that's for sure. Or structure. Got bronze upgrades now being researched by Blue. Also going for the incendiary arrows. Oh no, that's the Phobos Panic Spear, giving heavy hoplites, militia, and Padromo's divine damage. Very nice. I didn't realize militia also get affected by that. Very, very nice. He also should really get this relic then, make his drop-off locations cheaper, effectively giving him a very cheap source of militia that gets a little bit turbocharged there. After all, each drop-off location will be cost what? 50% less? And every single one of those drop-off locations will cost like 25 resources. Padromos engaging the camels. Looks like Red's starting to win over here. Hates of his Pell Pass. None of the trade archers have gone down. Hoplite push forward. Another Hydra being pulled in the field. Pharaoh here can gaze the Hydra. The Pharaoh is an excellent anti-myth unit, while priests are actually just more borderline okay against myth units. They're a counter unit. Pharaohs are an excellent one. And plus, this is also the first one. He has not gotten the second Pharaoh yet. Bronze upgrades. Now got some Dromos, more Hoplites, more Pell Pass. Reg is going for a Camel Rider. Both players at 205 population. Neither side has researched the fortified town centers just yet. But Red's getting a significant number of Miggle strongholds upon the field. Hopefully he starts going for a lot of upgrades here. It does have guns, weapons, ballistics. Looks like a bit of everything. Or he's going, and looks like Blue's going for ballistics now. More camera riders being established by Red. Looks like Red's trying to push both directions. Also establishing a monument to the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh can power it for all nearby stuff. Good for defense and for resources. Camera riders push forward. They will be picked on off. Got other ones pushing along the left flank. Yep, one militia man there. Yeah, we look at the storehouse now. It does cost 50, so you could perhaps get 25 resource militia men to slow down his opponent with that relic. Would it be a great idea? No. Is it just an okay idea? I believe so. Militia did charge right forward, does get picked off there. Let's see. Poseidon course can go for Artemis or for Hephaestus. Get access to the Earthquake and Chimera. More range soldier damage, hero stuff, and Chimera stuff. Or Plenty Vaults. We do now have the cameras to forward. They do pull back over here, took a bit too much damage. These guys are going straight for siege weapons. Does save this fortress here for now. Running out for the 5,000 notes, he got some masonry upgrades and has a need. Red's lost his force over here. These cameras are starting to fall back over here. No reinforcements being queued up by Red. It's a bit of fun. Massive number of cameras there, but all being put in a certain number of Miggle strongholds rather than all of them. Looks like siege towers pretty forward. And now you have Hephaestus give access to the Olympian weapons, Forge of Olympus, and Plenty Vault. We may not see Colossus game, though he is sort of a decent amount of favor there, so maybe we'll see some Colossus, though he's lacking gold. He needs to start obtaining this gold for himself. Multiple Hydras with report. They cost blue rather than gold. Another round of Locust being summoned. Most of these doing okay work. Nothing fantastic. And those blue does go ahead and resign, particularly because of the lack of gold. Zangrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started on the next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. If there's any particular players you want to see for a live game, please let me know. My apologies, I am back. Let's see now. Go down the bottom. Somebody's spectating this one. Let's see. Nope. And let's see, do I see any clan tags or any names I see? Anything that stands out? Nope. Just start from the bottom, see if there's any decently ranked players. Nope. 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 Got a Xbox. Oops. I accidentally double click on that. That is not good. My apologies, I accidentally double clicked on that. Maybe my mouse is starting to wear out where it accidentally double clicks. Yeah, it would have been an average level. Could do this one, Moist Drizzle. 21 minutes. Yeah, let's just do this one. Just take a quick look a little bit higher. See if I think anything. Decently rated game. But only 7 minutes, so yeah, let's just do the Moist Drizzler. Because at 7 minutes, who knows if that game's going to be any good or not. I want to try to make sure at least a decent length. Even if it is a higher ranked player. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Age Mythology replay. Small on top left side as the red raw, we got Moist Drizzle. Small on bottom right side as the not so green Poseidon, we got Show Me D. I don't know why, this name somewhat makes sense. Moist Drizzle for Raw with the Rain God power. Either way, when it comes to relics on the map, we do have the Osberg's Wagon, give your caravans increased speed, reduced cost, which is actually a little bit transformative. That can make your caravans a little bit more accessible. The Fetters of Fenrir make your villagers have increased damage. Villager rain damage. What rain damage do villagers have? Is that just meant for wildlife? 9 cauldrons make your increase your hack and pierce armor of your fortress type units. Very nice. Of soldiers will probably excludes anything that's classified siege. I'm about to sneeze. My apologies. Got Olor's Bow, giving increased range for ranged soldiers, which is very nice. Which that could be quite nice, combined with the Bone Archers. I'm not sure, can Raw get the Bone Archer upgrade? I'm not sure. When it comes to initial age up, got a Bast or Fod, so Wadgets. Includes the Electrum Bullets, Leather Shield Frame, Scallop Axes, and cheaper farms, which is actually a very nice combo with the Rain God power of Raw. Where you get increased wood collection, food from all sources, and Sphinx upgrades. Overall, I do think Fa is generally a better option with all those unique upgrades. I just hate Wadgets. Over here, we do have Hermes being researched by Poseidon, get access to the Centaur. And a bunch of other cavalry-based stuff. He's likely going to age up with Dying Knights to get more cavalry-based stuff.
Enito.
The priest does spot the centaur. Of course, in this age, does have not so great damage, doing 2.5 damage per strike against the centaur. Multiple obelisks now being deployed in the field. Got a round of housing here, and the centaur is advancing. Arrow needs to retaliate. You know he can't do much damage with his age. It will be better than nothing. There we go. With the age up there, now he's able to do some serious damage. Wadget even punching some rounds in there, getting some poison damage. And able to heal up these villagers well at it. Now maybe better to roll back a priest to do that rather than use a pharaoh, because I think the empowers are very important for the pharaoh. Got Atlantic push for the fast hero, able to easily outrange or outmove the Wadget. Watch to just stand and fight, because it's going to just run and die and do no work there. Center fire a volley arrows on this laborer. Priest smiting the centaur, and the pharaoh doing a much better job at that. Centaur goes down. The pharaoh does have 13 damage. He probably should start attacking Atlantia. The pharaoh doesn't actually have too much health. He's primarily a defensive unit. The priest does manage to escape into the sentry tower, and we got the watchtower upgrade on the way as well. Got a Hippus there. There's a watchtower upgrade. Single spearman pops on out, and very good time there, engaging the Hippus. Now Pharaoh's flying some fire sports as well. You can pop out the priest there to get some healing onto the pharaoh, though that priest is severely wounded. Looks like the spearman will go down. He is healing up the spearman there with the priest, so very, very nice. It does save the spearman. Multiple Hippus now being deployed in the field. Got a couple spearmen. Looks like 3 spearmen here as well. And this gold deposit is almost completely seized. We'll have to eye another gold deposit relatively soon. And the more I look at the mini-map, let's see. Can't expand the mini-map out in this Age of Empires game, can I? Nope, but if you look here, this is his only gold deposit nearby. He has a push to over here, which Town Center will help provide some presence, and looks like red is going to be eyeing for this town center there. Green, villagers migrating over here, looks like, so both players gain another town center on the same side of the map, which means likely conflicts in this region. Empowering the town centers, build construction. And let's see. Got access to Sobek, Hathor. Because, of course, they renamed Hathor to Sobek. Because Petrusos is supposed to be Pet Sobek. And just watch Giant Grant Games video about Age of Mythology. Back when he was talking about Extended Gold Edition. But something tells me Bone Bow may go quite well with this relic over here, giving quite a bit extra range. Speaking of your cavalry, chariot archers have what? They have base range of 19, right? So get on the 21 range. Maybe it's 22 range. Something very nice there. +2 max range. Yeah, way up to 22 range. I also get a bit more slinger upgrades. Electrum bullets and the Sling of the Sun. That's what I think Red should go for. But then again, he's fighting against Poseidon, which means cavalry. So he needs more anti-cavalry units, likely. In which the other option does give Dark Waters for the camels and camel caravans to engage said cavalry units as well. So both are just good options. One can maximize the relics, one can maximize the counter. Poseidon, of course, will likely go for Dionysus to give access to the Thracian horses, getting lifesteal for his cavalry, which is incredibly powerful. Health regen for his Hydra and Skyla, nothing too important, and 5% hit points on all units is quite nice regardless what unit you go for. After that, I can offer the Argos, which is no longer tied to Poseidon, but now tied to Aphrodite, which is not important in this map. Villagers get more favor generation in case you want to have a bit more fun. Of course, Aphrodite is probably definitely known for having good fun. And of course, increase villager speed, build rate, make it a bit more convenient, and the extra food carrying capacity, it does help out quite a bit for your farming and your wood economy. When I say quite a bit marginal, but it is very nice. It reduces the amount of time they spend walking around to drop off resources. Very useful for lumber, somewhat useful for farming, and can be somewhat important for gold as well. For example, wait, it was only meant for what's it called? Only meant for actually no, it looks like it probably improves that as well. I just can't scroll down, can I? Nope, I can't. Oh, there we go. Yep, gold carrying capacity, which does help out with the if gold is a little bit too saturated. Good hit trade there. Doesn't take really focus down the wooden ones. Got a bit of scattered damage. Spearmen sprint to the way forward over here. Spearmen do have 5 moon speed, which is very nice. No upgrades at the moment. Not even medium. So primarily just for a bit of reserve. And now we do have the Sobek being blown field. Get 1 free Pasutros. Notice the priest gained a decent amount of healing there as well. Villagers heading up towards the monkeys. He can always task a priest over here. He is raw to empower the food drop off. I always think people should use the priest lesser empowerment more often, because if you have it, might as well use it, such as right here. Copper upgrade, copper armor. We do have now the Pesitros. He is going to build some Pesitros. And we do have Dionysus being researched by Poseidon as well. Spearman will be nice versus Poseidon. However, when Poseidon advances to age 4, his unique cavalry, the what's it called, Anataros, is that how you pronounce it? Will be particularly effective versus small units such as spearmen. So at that point in time, those guys can actually be the counter to the spearmen with their splash damage. If you really like to understand why you have that feeling, just look at Age of Empires 3 with the Cuirassier, the French Cuirassier. Hydra now pulling the field. Hail Hydra. And now got the shot up there, reducing farming costs. Very nice. Good idea to get that before you start building all your farms. Villagers migrating somewhere. And we got the green scout here. Or slightly off green scout. Definitely not the campaign green. I don't know what type of green this is. It's not teal. It's too green to be teal. Teal is a little bit more blue mixed on in, so I have no idea what type of green. Mint green? Yeah, probably mint green is probably the best way to describe it. Got a rock here, the rock and roll. Giraffe's now being eaten. I wonder how a giraffe tastes in real life.
Πρόσταγμα. Λέγε.
I wonder if giraffe neck meat is any good. Clearly it can be collected for meat, right? I know you can eat beaver tail. And I first found out you can actually eat beaver tail is from an anime known as Spice and Wolf, of all things. Got spearmen moving around, trying to pursue the hippus. Neither even medium, let alone heavy. Dark waters being established by Reds, who's going to go for the camels. Got the, what's it called again? Signal fires. They always call it watch fires. It's the same difference. Hippus being forced on back. Got some delicious elephant here.
Πρόσταγμα.
And looks like got around the basic palisade walls there. And that wood looks like be a full wall up. I see a green line in the mini map. Suggests that this is solid. Hydra would be very nice. All this stuff is unupgraded, so I have... Of course, Atlantia was already pretty wounded. Hydra could get some extra heads here. Of course, Hydra's not like the fastest thing. Looks like the spearmen are trying to run away from the dinosaur like it was Jurassic Park. Blah. Never could get in those movies. I always wondered why one of them had a gun. 50 BMG does not really care for much. Nor does 30-06. 30-06 will probably be more than adequate to deal with dinosaurs. 5.56 will probably have a bit of trouble. When I say a bit of trouble, probably a full magazine to take down a Hydra. Which is still very doable. Got a couple siege works there. I hear a whole bunch of farms being established.
Πρόσεχε.
Good number of stables there.
Πρόσεχε.
And it looks like Red's eyeing for some chariot archers as well, some backline to accompany the front line. Though chariot archers only move a movement speed of 5, which means they actually have a pretty good unit to complement spearmen. While camel riders do move at 6, much faster. Got some more pet Sobex. We do have, or Petros. Oh no, they're pet Sobex now. They actually got the upgrade for them. And we got other rain god power and ceasefire there. Magenta or green. Why did I say magenta? A Mayo skin that makes up mint green. Simply has no military force in the field. In fact, he is also aging up, going for Hephaestus, get access to the Colossus and Plenty Vaults. While good idea to store up his favor to go for at least one more Plenty Vault. The second Plenty Vault is what, 200 favor? Pretty cheap. Ceasefire soon end. He's going for some Padromos. Padromos are adequate versus Camel Riders. In fact, the medium Padromos versus Camel Riders, which are effectively medium Camel Riders. And we do have now Osiris being upgraded or being researched. It's sort of funny. We've been seeing pretty much no research by either player. Speaking about research, Red's going for a decent amount of research. Also, some camel caravans. Maybe got the relic and make them cheaper. Can't highlight it right there. But maybe if I switch over to him. Actually, no, that relic's still here, isn't it? Or wherever it may be. Maybe I'm missing where the relic is at. Either way. We got now triple fortress here. He might as well go for some Anataros, which he is. Another pet Sobucks here that have 26 range, X amount of range. Anataros right now are just heavy. They do have that bit of AoE, making them good for end splash damage.
Garrick.
Cameras will, of course, be better than in 1v1. But when it comes to group combat, all depends how much these guys are stacking up on each other.
Garrick.
If they don't stack up, they will win. If they do stack up, they may actually lose. But then again, it's hard to stack up the larger entities such as camels. I say that as they start stacking up there quite a bit. Looks like Green got a good number of rocks there. Son of Osiris now deployed in the field. I didn't pay full attention where it was. Green does have a Colossus here, which would be very useful. And Red's forces being pretty split up. That's not good. Red's trying to pull back and regroup, which is very important. The Petri shows the Pet Sobucks do have a bit of divine damage to them. Let them siege down the structures. Got champion cavalry for Poseidon, of course. Got the bronze and iron weapons. Medium infantry as well, as well as coinage. Big round of research up here, including the desert winds for camel upgrades. So we've got full camels. And as well as supplementary chariot archers for red. There's not rescoping Ola's blow to give them +1 range. Red may need to pull out some siege weapons. There's the mummy there. He's also researching the epic crown, giving the mummy viziers. Here's all the iron weapons. Got iron armor and shields for green. And going for a heavy amount of Antaros. It all comes down to the AoE damage. Green's not launching his attack. He does have champion camel riders as well as champion chariot archers. And like opponents give him a minion there. Bronze not being summoned by Green to give him extra edge defense. He's going to pull out some little bits to soften these guys up. Won't be super great. Osiris is somewhere over here. There he is. Doing 59 damage per strike. Yeah, Hydra will go down very quickly to Osiris. Son of Osiris. Colossus is still here. The Colossus does have good crush damage. I think Colossus should be focused on these structures for now. Colossus has took a bit of damage there. He can fall back and eat some trees, eat some veggies, and get healed on up. Looks like Green will start pulling ahead thanks to the splash damage of his cavalry. So cameras are offering reinforced there. Typically does go down there. More Antaros pushing forward, including the Dromos for counter cavalry usage. Dromos will be camel riders in 1v1 combat. It looks like Osiris is taking, Son of Osiris is taking quite a bit of damage there. Did pop the buck a little bit there. Can pop on the far side. He's a bit damage there. Though we've got some Antaros on the flank. And Polyphemus knocks around some of those units there, including the Son of Osiris, which actually allowed him to escape. Colossus has gone down. The Son of Osiris needs to perhaps get inside the Nigel Stronghold. Top on the far side. Polyphemus going for another smash there, knocks back some camel riders. More Herataros being thrown in the field. The Son of Osiris is severely wounded, but he still has some fight left into him. Polyphemus has another good smash there. Got a good number of catapults being thrown by Red, but he needs more other units. Red has, food, he has expended his gold. He has a little bit too many catapults in the field. He needs to obtain more gold. He has some oversaturated gold deposits. Son of Cyrus is such in a wounded state. He may just need to keep him as a defensive unit to protect his forward infrastructure. Green is not vying for any more myth units at the moment. He's saying his favor for 20 bolts, which is generally a good idea in this case. Minimum, I'll say, is 2 20 bolts. These catapults going down. Regs is simply lacking any sort of military units engaged from his military units. Too many catapults. Going for more camel riders now.
Έτοιμος.
I don't think
Λέγε.
Spearmen are a good transition to fight against the Herataros.
Πρόσταγμα.
Would be good versus the Prodromos. Big round of champion Prodromos there. Why does that progress bar seem so weird? I don't know why the Prodromos progress bar there just looks off to me. Like it's almost a little bit too purple. No idea.
Λέγε.
More Prodromos being summoned. Prodromos do have a very good amount of speed.
Έτοιμος.
Plus there's a falling back there. Both the camera riders and the Prodromos
Thank you.
have excellent speed at the moment, allowing them to quickly engage. Both players have went for speed for the cavalry. And the Tharkin force is going to be very useful to Prodromos to counter the camels. Let's see,
Thank you.
Prodromos do cost not too much gold there, counter unit. I think the Herataros are pretty expensive on the cost of cavalry, don't they? If I were to highlight one of these, yeah, they're definitely having gold there, which simply Poseidon cannot afford at the moment. He has enough favor for another plenty bolt, just enough. So let's see how quickly Poseidon realizes it. Up here, just some catapults. We have some of this gold here. Next gold deposit will be here, that's outside of his borders. Whereas I'm obtaining this gold deposit, but not too many builds on that gold deposit. In fact, I know a bunch of holes there. One of them's under fire though. And now I've got a good number of Prodromos of names way forward. Very nice. And he's actually queued up, does a queue order to pick out these catapults. Now Mummery Vizier.
Λέγε. Πρόσταγμα.
Granted, with the Hermes upgrades, these guys do have speed, as well as a bit of damage. If you went for the Ares path, they could have got a bit of divine damage for the Prodromos, but that only affects the Prodromos, Militia, and Hoplite, while the other option does give access to Oral Cavalry, which is quite a bit different there. So in this case, we got a decent number of militia there, could have been affected by bonus divine damage.
Λέγε.
The number of fortresses over there, got these catapults sieging down the fortresses. Hopefully it does go down there. When it comes to what I mentioned between Ares and Hermes as well, it's one of those things, well, you just don't know how the game's going to go. If his opponent didn't go for a camel-based composition, then the definitely Hermes would have been a much better option. But since now that's how the game's sort of going, Hermes could have, or Ares could have been a better option. But at this point in time, it's not a bad option to go for either. Well, of course, this was 2020 hindsight, trying to see which one was a better option. In this case, both were good options. Now looks like the catapults are being under siege right now. Got some militiamen being brought on forward from destroyed fortresses there for a bit of defense. Of
Πρόσταγμα.
course, this Prodromus very high speed has been very useful for Hermes,
Πρόσταγμα.
and that's thanks to Hermes being able to help him respond to these multiple threats as well. Got some Parataros not being pulled into as
Legend.
well. He is not quite the other Ponytail, has not realized this just yet. Right now, green has a larger force field, got good on more Prodromos. Red does not have too much, has a piece of food and wood reserve, not too much gold. But for more catapults, he really should stop the catapult production, just eye for combat units against all of these units.
Έτοιμος.
But against all these Prodromos, I do think it's a good idea for Spearman transition, but I don't even know if he even has regular Spearman, let alone, or medium Spearman, let alone heavy Spearman. Definitely does not have champion Spearman, that's for sure. And green's not the some high passes, he's expecting the Spearman transition. But instead, red's going for Chariot Archers, which is not going to be a good choice. Excuse me.
Πρόσταγμα. Έτοιμος.
It classifies both as range and range soldier and cavalry, so they get countered by the Prodromos and the Herataros. Polyphemus and Prodromos did go down there. We've got some petrol bolos sieging down some of these structures, particularly the town center. Trying to deny the max population. Green, or minty green, does not, though it does have fortified town centers, so simply just has less town centers. Which is a bit of a problem right now for green. He mostly has max out camel caravans, or no, just population. Does cancel the villager production, which is a good idea. Because if he does lose some villagers, it probably wants extra space for our military units at the moment. And green, minty green is now eyeing for the champion infantry.
Έτοιμος.
Parataros being picked apart by these camel riders. Champion infantry, of course, will improve his militiamen, but it may be a good idea to actually go for a round of hoplites. They, of course, be good versus camels and versus spearmen. Yeah, I'm thinking actually lean towards hoplites right now for green if it's possible transition. Brings another ceasefire there once he got scaffolding established on this town center. Try and get this building under its influence. He should realize he has enough favor for another plentyvault. He should go for another plentyvault, in my opinion. Military structures do take a little bit longer to build, or at least fortifications. He sees the Hippus. Town center is already on fire. Still trying to get it repaired, but I think Mako does go down there. Got a big round of militia to advance. Hippus going straight for the siege weapons. Villagers go straight for the town center again. Though may not have enough wood or may not want to risk them. Got mummy viziers now being established. Mummies are not a bad unit, especially when you go on Retold. Gold edition, they were just borderline okay. They had instant kill effect. Now mummy viziers are a little bit better. I'm not too impressed by them, but they are decent. When it comes to final insta-kill units for the final tier, I am still biased towards Lampetes. Now we've got the spearmen taking out these Petrobolos. Herataros push way forward and getting ripped apart by the spearmen. Because if you look closely here, you see the splash damage from the Herataros. It's a good damage across all the units, able to clean up the formation. They do better in army versus army rather than in single duels. Reinforce those villagers, rush from Town Center. Unless the middle stronghold will be focused on that. Got a fortress being touched by green. We got a big round of Herotaros, as those Podromos. And we do have some War Elephants. I've rarely ever seen War Elephants. I've never seen them being too successful, seeing a stampede of them. Oh, that camel caravan pathing's not too particularly great. Or donkey caravan. The camel caravans are just fine. 82 gold. 93 gold. Looks like Poseidon's trade is better. And I think as well, you can still get routine full trade for trading village centers, right? You can always go a village center in the corner. Polyphemus now full in the field. Cali advancing. Alantia does get picked off there. At this time, I don't think Alantia is going to be super great. Polyphemus is, of course, very good. This is an anti-myth unit, which has not pulled out too many of them. Additionally, Herotaros could be upgraded for, what, 100% bonus damage versus myths, right? Thanks to Olympian weapons. Polyphemus gets a nice smash there. Villagers trying to shank the town center. The villagers do, in fact, shank the town center. And we got almost 400 favor there by Poseidon. Still no second plenty vault. He will soon have access to the ceasefire. He has access to ceasefire. And looks like Richmond established houses around the town center. Minty Green will lose a number of villagers. He may not get the town center built. It has another 16 seconds. There's quite a bit of time. Looks like the last remaining 3 villagers are staying alive for now. 1 spearman hitting them. It looks like Green will hold on. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Oh, these are not housing. They were guard towers, so I'm not sure what I was thinking. Nothing much, apparently. Looks like overall great sign for Podromos. But right now he has quite a bit of gold and actually lacking a bit of food. So Herotaros better matches his current resource stockpile. No plenty vault.
Πρόσταγμα.
This town center has taken severe beating. Another Polyphemus. Another Polyphemus now floating in the field. This town center is taking some damage. Let's go down there. Didn't see. Yep, no burning pitch upgrade for red. And we don't see the Olympian weapons onto the Herotaros just yet either. Which I'm pretty sure improves their anti-myth unit damage by 100% if I'm incorrect. I don't think that's a resource of force, that's an army upgrade, right? Yeah, probably. Look, me trying to find the armory right now. Do now have the rain god power. We should alert that Poseidon, in fact, his opponent's having a bit of food issues. He does have good reserve of gold though, but now here comes the War Elephants, 45 damage. That plus slow attack speed with good multipliers versus buildings. I don't know, I just never seen War Elephants being used all too much. I think because they're slow pacing. Forces will go down, which will get some militia to help counter out the elephants, but they're going straight for the middle stronghold. You see the rain effect there, you can see here, the villagers only get the regular gathering rate. Got some more mummy viziers, more champion spearmen, got the scallop axes. So, Red's going to go for some Axemen. His opponent is not pulling out too many infantry units, in fact, very little. Green is actually eyeing for a good number of Colossus. Vault, please. Colossus are good, though they're not silver nor gold Colossus. So just bronze Colossus. We can still eat trees for health regen. Or go to Spawn's Gold Deposits and eat it. Camels can get by the Mummy's Curse. Polyphemus does get knocked out, but Colossus is slowly being picked apart. Polyphemus probably going down there. Trade are just being summoned. And this trade line is important, and we've got multiple watchtowers now engaging them. The Caramel Caravans are taking some hits there. Got some petrol bullets here, hitting some various basic structures, but they need to be set over here. Over here, a whole lot of nothing. Oh no, that's a pair of Colossus. A little bit more than a whole lot of nothing. A small Colossus excursion. But this incursion is going to still be a massive issue for green. Multiple camels going down. Red slowly getting the upper hand in this game. And I've got some cavalry being pushed over here. The Drummels, of course, are a counter cavalry unit. They can fight against structures. But these towers are pretty well upgraded, so they take 50% less damage, from half damage. Oh, they also have these siege arrows there. You can also see by their larger arrow attack. But I think that's an animation at this point in time. Don't think it does any additional or special damage. I can see here 17. Actually, no. Look, the pilot does say 34.1. Even though the clear doesn't add up there, so it does do an effect. It should also add a secondary weapon that we cannot necessarily view. So maybe doing something special there, but I have no idea. Nothing I can read.
Λέγε.
Wait, I see 2 arrows there. Yep, that's the second arrow, so never mind. Just me being an idiot. Oh, Silver Colossus. One of the most notable upgrades in the game. The Drummels are going to counter the elephants since they are also classified as cavalry. Pretty heavy cavalry. More siege towers here. Bring on the armory. Which can upgrade the Olympian Forge or applied upgrades. Oh wait, I guess that was the wrong one for bonus damage. I was just reducing the armor cost. Never mind. That may be actually a hero upgrade now, think about it. And green has now resigned. This Angry saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And it's getting a little bit late for me, so that shall be my last replay for tonight. So everyone, thank you for watching.